And welcome back, everybody, to episode 11 of the campaign. We're coming off that couple of big battles there in Manassas, where we were able to go ahead and achieve some victory. We are gonna get some reinforcements, put in some new brigades, things of that nature. Saw a little bit of that there at the end. We did that also a little bit out west and strengthened up John Pope's 9th Corps. So he's got about 12,000 new recruits coming in. We check down here. Let's see how we're doing at Carrollton. Have we taken it yet? Not quite, but we're getting close. And we'll take it here momentarily during this episode. I guess hopefully during this episode, you never know. We are overcrowded. So we'll need to upgrade our POW camp. Which apparently is directly underneath a mine. So we'll upgrade that, and in the meantime we will go ahead and build another one. Let's see. Up in Lansing, Michigan. Why not? As far away from the front lines as possible. Or, I guess we could go all the way up into Maine. We could send a POW camp up to Bangor. That'll be our next one. How's that? So, as you see all those enemy units routing, we got Banks moving into Winchester. We have pulled a little bit of reinforcements from Ben Kelly and split them among the 4th Corps and a little bit of the Army of the Ohio, which I believe we can now move into Nashville. We can. So we'll get everybody up into Nashville in case they come back and attempt to take it back from us. Where there is no doubt of where our troops are. We're getting some notifications. Looks like must be Banks hitting all those routed units trying to retreat into Winchester. So we'll let him go ahead and get there. The Department of the East. So they officially got all their contracts extended and got conscription. So I'm assuming we'll see a big jump in their brigades here in the next few days. But overall right now, I would say the last couple of days have been very huge for us here with the Union side. You see big changes along the map with Memphis being the next goal, Nashville falling, Carrollton falling. Where's Floyd's Corps gone? And Winchester about to fall. I'm hoping they're just calling Floyd's Corps back because they need the troops. Because we are definitely outnumbered over there. But, you know, only one way to find out. We'll go ahead and have Ormsby Mitchell head over. Just kind of keep an eye on what's going on there. It does look like they are marching through Beverly. So we will then get all of West Virginia taken. Our next course of action out west is to go ahead and take Fort Smith. So we've got some blockades in place. Let's see if we got any ships that are done being built. There's some getting close, not quite. A couple at 97%. See how Farragut's fleet's doing. Alright, so it looks like he is ready to launch his next attack. And I assume our next best option is here, Fort Macon, and work our way down the coastline a little bit. Actually, what we'll do, yeah, we'll try to take that coastline, then we can decide what to do from there. Really, the next plan is to get to Tampa, so we'll go ahead and actually try to get down there. There's a port down there. We'll let him potentially but those guys have already gotten moved. We'll try to get Farragut down there to Florida to help out the Army of Florida, or Army of the South, I would prefer. We might rename that ourselves. And get ready to invade Florida, though it does say we are out of supply. So we might have to take that fort with our fleet, and then use Dix's army to take the fort, get some supplies, and then jump over to New Orleans and really work our way up the Mississippi as well. Because we are not going with any reinforcements right now, we are going to put every corps that we can on ambulances and the medical. I think you've noticed that in most cases, but we're doing that just to kind of stem some of the mass attrition that we're going to receive. Let's see, have they brought in reinforcements? Nope. So it looks like we can go ahead and push onward to Fort Smith now. Trying to figure out, we may need to go ahead and build a supply depot here. It says that we're in condition for one, but let's go ahead and build one just to be safe. It'll let us get a little more readiness. Even if they bring the Indian Army over, it should not be enough to slow us down. Hoping they do the same thing here with Polk's Corps and bring it to actually come back in as they did Floyd's. I guess we could start trying to bombard Fort Macon. Do have quite a few guns there. Might go ahead and hold off. Well, let's see. We'll spread these ships around all of our blockading squadrons. Just kind of increase those blockades just a little bit. Since Farragut will be attacking some forts, we'll give him an extra. And that should cover it. Let's see how we're doing on some of these blockades. How are we doing on the blockades down here in Florida? Only 35%, so not great, but if we can take this port, I'm sure it'll go up a little bit, 39%. Yeah, so we're costing them a lot of money. I mean, that's 1.5 million with just this one blockading fleet. We could use some more ships there, 6 of 28, 9 of 29. So we'll probably add some to all of our Caribbean blockading fleets, or Gulf of Mexico. Dix can't even build a supply depot here, so we're kind of stuck until he gets his readiness up. Because obviously we're not getting a whole lot of supplies right now. We'll get it there here shortly. It says they have 3 invasions. Where? Crittenton's Corps. 8,000 men are over there in supply misery. Looks like JT Morgan just got a corps, also going to be in supply misery. Army of West Tennessee got created. Polk's Corps. Not sure where the Indian Army is that it's considered invading us. Let's see if maybe they snuck around. Nope, they don't appear to have snuck into Kansas or anything. Whatever. We'll speed up a little bit and bring you back as some things start picking up. Well, we're bringing you back because as he was passing through, Farragut decided that he was going to just go ahead and take Fort Macon. So he went ahead and took that, hoping it should give us that port. We should see here shortly if it does. And that gives us the whole coast of North Carolina completely under our control. Let's see, did it give us the port? It did. So we'll actually, since he took a little bit of damage there, send him back into that port, get repaired a little bit, and then we will work him down to Florida, and we'll be right back with some more action for you. Alright, bringing you back again here, April 18th. Banks' Corps has been pretty much out of the fight so far, so we're going to move him up to really try to take the Shenandoah Valley. He's going to go after R.H. Anderson's Corps that is extremely under strength. I think that's Huger's old corps. I'm wondering if he got relieved. And it looks like Floyd is pushing forward into our position at Manassas. In the meanwhile, Kelly is going to get his troops down to Beverly, potentially threaten the Shenandoah Valley from the west. This supply depot is coming along pretty quickly, so as is that one, about 32 days for it to be repaired. Oh, looks like there were some troops hiding there, stacked on top of one another. We'll go ahead and let Banks fight this out. Probably isn't going to go great for us, We are outnumbered quite a bit, but they should be demoralized, all coming off of previous fights. Give it a shot. All right, so we've made it to the battlefield. It looks like we're going to not get the typical map that you get here for Newmarket. I guess maybe. Didn't get Winchester. We got the Newmarket map. Looks like their army is green. I'm wondering if these are all fresh recruits that literally just got made. Looks like Zirkel's Mill will be the objective. So we have options of two approaches here. We can come through Newmarket and Manor Hill. Try to use that to bombard anything on the other side of the river. Based on how the AI has been setting up, we're going to go ahead and set up on this side of the Shenandoah River. Detach Avril, that way he can go scout, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we have found them. It looks like we might be in decent shape. Chapman's cavalry's not at all in decent shape. We'll see if we can get him to fall back right now. We do have the Stonewall Brigade here on their flank. See if we can cancel Avril's orders. Come on, Chapman. Your 218 men aren't going to be happy. Got Cadwallader, Joseph Hooker, and Edwin Sumner with Reno's artillery. I think our artillery alone might give us a benefit here. The big thing that you see, or was previously, is that their morale was not great. So our hope here is that because their morale is not great, we might be able to inflict some damage to them. It doesn't look like they're going to chase. Only 1,300 men left in the Stonewall Brigade. So there's some understrength brigades here. It says they have 0 guns. I'm not sure how that works. It looks like they have cannons. So there's a lot of artillery there, despite the fact that a lot of them say that they have 0 guns. And they are lined up right along the road. Not really a very good defensive position, unless they thought we were going to cross at Bashong Hill. Alright, so now they're going to get reorganized. We're going to try to get into position to see what happens, see what they do. It looks like they're falling back into the woods. They outnumber us by quite a bit, and yet they're falling back. It makes me wonder what's on the other side of the river. And the question is can we get Avril up just a little bit farther without annihilating him? And can we get Chapman out to Pine Hill, maybe? See what's at Borden. Looks like they're shifting to face us. While you were on pause, I did check out kind of their number of battles, etc. To just kind of have an idea of how we match up. And almost all of their troops are on their first battle, while also in the last month of contract. You see some that we did just fight in Manassas that retreated over here. Their morale should be hit a little bit more. Let's make sure that they are on evade. So we got a better picture of what's going on here. Got some small brigades, but we really need to get Reno's artillery up to batter them pretty heavily. We got some good landscape to do so. We're going to be shooting over a fair number of trees. Bring Hooker up here to that flank. Put Cadwallader into a single line, as well as Sumner. We'll do that with Hooker as we get a little bit closer. Alright, now they're shifting again. I'm not sure if they finally saw the Pennsylvania regiment from Avril and decided they needed to fall back. It's not really a great position for them to be in. They're falling back to the riverbank. So they'll really have nowhere to go if they get pushed backwards. Right now they've adjusted again. Let's put Hooker into a single line. Looks like they are coming to attack now. We're going to send Chapman to kind of draw some of this attack off and essentially sacrifice himself and his men to slow that down so that artillery can get in line here. We're just going to have to throw canister on them right now. And get Butterfield's unit up. Not sure what's taking us so long. Oh, Banks decided to move up to join Hooker rather than stay with the rest of the unit. Well, that's good news because as they approach, Hooker's going to have to fight them where they're at. We are at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so with Hooker, we are also going to pop skirmishers out to try to figure out what is actually taking place here. Got some artillery pieces that are leading the advance. And then Reno, we need to let him rally everybody while also blowing up the road. Chapman will dismount and throw into a loose formation. His 213 men should be difficult for artillery to hit. There's not enough of them to... At this point, we're just hoping for the evening and the nightfall to actually take place. So that way we can kind of reform, as we are massively outnumbered. Of course, if we reform, it allows them to, and right now, we might be in better shape than they are. Okay, they're firing, so we'll leave them alone. They're not firing. There we go. Yes, they are. So, with their artillery leading the march, it actually is slowing up all of their infantry completely, which might allow us to be able to get some skirmishers up here to pick off their artillery pieces, which weaken them for tomorrow. You see Kirby Smith down this direction. We're going to go ahead and have Averill face that way in case he needs to defend the flank. We'll go ahead and dismount him and throw him into loose order also. So our artillery is marching right into a slaughter right now, which means our artillery will be twice as effective the next day. The other nice part about this when you're outnumbered is this will keep their morale dropped, because we can rout some of these and they will keep that morale down because the overall morale will be dropped. And it doesn't appear that they've figured out that they need to stop marching directly into our skirmisher lines. Well, now they have. Now they're just bombarding our skirmishers, but they're losing a lot of artillery pieces along the way. And they just keep coming forward with them. Well, it looks like they've got our infantry coming up now, but It's a smaller brigade. Group is not firing, so let's get them up. We're firing here. Come on, Reno. Let's make sure we're rallying those guys. So the skirmishers are going to march to gunfire here. It's middle of the night. It's already 5 o'clock. And it looks like Bernard B has not figured out how to reposition his troops. So the night happens. We're going to have some redeployment take place. We're going to call back all our skirmishers and then kick them back out. Or, well, maybe not. Move Chapman back at least. And stick him on our flank over here because it looks like they were getting ready to move that direction. We will concentrate Reno's artillery to be able to cover that entire road. And we'll get started. All right. So they've clearly pulled back. Let's see where we're at on overnight with casualties. So they've taken about 1,000 to our 200. Morale's about even. We kind of have to keep that same ratio for the rest of the day, or we ourselves will end up routing. So we'll push forward a little bit. We can see that group down there, but what we don't know is what else is coming with them. All right. All right. We can see some trenches down here by Borden. Looks like they decided to fall back and build a series of trenches. Again, this is a lot of trench building for the AI in 1862. But it looks like that's what their strategy is going to be, to give up the victory location. The question is how many troops do they have on the other side of Zirkel's Mill? We'll push Averill up just a little bit, see if he can see anything else at Zirkel's Mill. I'm not sure how our detachments ended up this way, so we'll send them back home and or to attack whatever they find along the way. I was wondering how we were able to see everything over this direction. Two skirmisher groups ended up down that way. Looks like that's Huger's army. Let's see how those random lost skirmishers are doing. All these artillery with no guns that are firing cannons at us. There's 5. So our skirmishers that got lost in the middle of the night don't seem like they're doing very well. But what they did find out is that there is nobody else defending Zirkle Farm or Zirkle's Mill than the artillery that is already there. Not sure where they're going. I don't know if they're trying to go Thomas Hill to Pine Hill to flank us, so we will keep Chapman's 206 men on a scouting mission that direction. Reno can't necessarily hit them yet, so let's move him up a little bit more. Looks like they're sending some units that direction to the mill, but as you can see, it looks like a lot of smaller units out this direction with. I think these are the units that got stuck in the previous battle. And we're struggling immensely from that point. So those units probably still really haven't recovered. A lot of them are very under strength. See if Hooker can push forward with Averill on his flank. And Cadwallader. This battery coming up. There is a cavalry brigade working through the woods. That isn't really great for us. Hayes with some Lorenzas, I'm not sure where we got those, is going to be able to start opening fire into their flank. And we'll go ahead and have Sumner wheel, as it looks like they're working to flank us on this side through the hill. The woods and the hill. I'm not sure that that's the best move for them, but a lot of their units are ready to rout any minute. How are we doing over here? So we're going to work to turn and face this approach that's coming from this cavalry unit and whatever else is joining it. Chapman does have some cover, but he is not going to last very long. It's already nervous, which 38% morale, that's not great. 49, negative 49 from casualties, 39 guys. So we're gonna let him fall back. Nope, too late. Broke. That sometimes happens as you try to fall back, so looks like the fight might happen on this hill with Sumner's division. We do need him to really start rallying those guys. I'll bring Avril back big time since his services are no longer required down here. Abercrombie should be opening fire any second. Well, so much for Avril leaving. Looks like he got engaged. Oh, we misclicked there. So we're getting some alerts about some of their batteries disappearing and making a run for it. If Forney falls back, we'll be able to push on anything that they decide to throw up this direction. And it looks like that is what is going to take place here. We'll move all of Reno in an attempt to potentially fight this direction. Look at all those units leaving. Looks like it's all artillery. So, looks like they have a couple, but not a lot. We do want... Darn it, Avril broke. See if we can't get Banks to rally. Looks like Chapman's doing better. He's only got 28 rounds left and 171 men left, so we'll get him out here to protect that flank. Move Hooker up. Same with Cadwallader. And Reno's batteries will prepare accordingly. What we will do with Abercrombie is, in case somebody shows up coming from this direction on Church Road, we will go ahead and keep him defending that road. You see our troops are winded just from coming up the hill. Theirs are now working that hill themselves, and you see a lot of them struggling morale-wise right now. Wonder how we're doing. Not sure why their plan was to push through Pine Hill and Thomas Hill and Borden, but I think maybe their morale's struggling more than what we think it is. Sumner being in the woods is going to pop out some skirmishers. They'll serve as essentially skirmishers on that flank. Because we're in a new defensive position, we'll go ahead and let some skirmishers go out from everybody. I know some of them have already returned, but since some of them ended up lost in the middle of the night, we won't count some of those. We're going to keep extending that flank with cavalry. Not really perfect, but it's kind of what we have. So if we force them to have to re-approach through this road, we might be able to spin our flank and be able to pull a division or two. But if they extend real far over there, we're going to be in some trouble. In the meantime, some of these smaller brigades look like they're going to attempt to engage us on our right. Could be a good diversion by the AI here. Ooh, that tore into some of our skirmishers. See if we can get Reno on bombard. Not our best bombardment location ever, but yeah, they are getting in a large line that direction. We may need to pull. We don't really have anything to pull. We may be able to pull somebody if we can wipe out some of these approaching attackers on this flank. We will go ahead and stick them on counterbat. Send some Abercrombie's men to go grab an artillery gun. At this point, we're going to need kind of anything and everything we can. Our line is as extended as it possibly can be. We're delaying them, but at some point they are going to keep pushing forward. As long as we can convince, look like Maxie Gregg, to not attack us on this flank where we're a paper tiger, then we might be able to hold off just long enough. How are we doing? Alright, we've inflicted quite a bit of casualties. Their morale's not doing great. But just as we speak, here comes their attack. They've pushed back most of our skirmishers. And here comes trouble. And they are punching in hard. We're going to slow it down just a little bit. Alright, Butterfield, you were just going to have to go to long range. Regardless. We're going to be in the woods, Sumner. It's going to have to go to long range. Make sure we're in loose order here. We are. What about here? We are. Alright. Alright, Butterfield, it's just you're going to have to step up and actually fire at them. Not a fan of it, but we're going to have to. We're going to bring Longnecker forward. No, not to charge them. We're going to have to try to turn their right flank while they turn our right flank. Alright, how long can we hold off on this one? On our right. We are we are pushing some of their troops back. Looks like we have broken. We're gonna have to pull Abercrombie up the road as quickly as possible. Cadwallader was wounded. Well, like I said in previous episodes, I do tend to get a lot of people wounded. Butterfield's in danger of having his flank turned. Alright, Park, come on. It's getting tense here. Alright, we are turning part of their flank. Can Park punch through and create a hole in their lines, is the question. He and Williams are working to turn their lines before Benham breaks. They're trying to fill gaps. Uh-oh. Looks like Wynkoop panicked and broke. We've got artillery up here that from Kentucky. Avril broke. Butterfield broke. Oh, this isn't good. There's not much we can do here. Realistically, at this point, try to bet we are somehow winning, but our casualties are at 12%. So we are going to sound the retreat here to try to maintain Winchester. Hopefully our cohesion doesn't drop too bad and our readiness doesn't drop too bad. But our flank is turned and there's nothing we can really do about it at this point. We're punching hard into them, and all we can hope is that all the losses they're taking cause their readiness to drop into where they can't attack Winchester. See, we are breaking a handful more of their units on that flank. It says we got a minor victory, but I just don't. Their morale's at 20. Might have been the wrong choice, but we inflicted 2-to-1 casualties more or less on them. Just didn't have enough troops. So Banks will probably be requesting reinforcements, but from there we